All right, we're starting a new commission today in the shop. I think you guys are gonna like this one. It is a front door for a client. So let me show you the design. So the door itself is going into an existing frame, so I don't have to worry about building a frame for this door. I'm just going to fit it to fit what is there. The main door itself is going to be a wood door. The frame of the door and this curve and these dividers are just going to be painted black. And then this is going to be a walnut. And then this curved panel here is going to be copper. Now the client wants a copper that is much cooler than what you see here. She wants something that's really going to pop. So we're going to get into patinating some copper that has all kinds of depth of color in it, from blacks, browns to blues. She really wants this blue to pop. So to achieve the color she wants, we're going to fume it in a fume chamber. So the first thing we need to do is go out into the shop and build a fume chamber that's big enough to fit this big sheet of copper in. All right, so I'm jumping into the build here, and what I'm doing is I'm ripping down some roughly 2-inch wide strips of knotty alder. Knotty alder is fairly inexpensive, so it's an ideal material to build this fume chamber out of. So basically I'm just ripping down some strips to construct a frame that I will eventually wrap in plastic to hold the fumes in to get that color of copper we need. Just going to tack them together. All right, I'm just kind of making it up as I go along here of how I'm going to wrap this plastic around there, because I want it to be fairly snug so it doesn't droop down when it's closed up and touch the copper. But I think I'm going to rip a couple of small pieces, just some little strips to go in here, fold the plastic around, and then staple it to this, and then pull it tight all the way around. And then that way I could do that on the other piece too. So then when I close it up, the plastic will hit plastic, and if I need to help seal it up, I could put some tape across here. So that's the plan. All right, so I got some hardboard that I had laying around the shop here. So I think it's a little thin, but I think it'll be good enough. So I'm just going to use it to wrap around. Okay, now I just need to attach the top, and I want it just to hinge up with the plastic. I don't want to have to make two pieces, which might be easier. But since I haven't thought this through, I'm going to do it the hard way. Okay, before I staple it down, I'm going to see if it hinges. All right, that worked out pretty well. Let's go cut some copper to put in this thing. All right, so for the curve down the center of the door, I exported my SketchUp file into Adobe Illustrator and created this little template that I'm taping together so I could print it to scale. And then I'll just glue this template to the plywood and cut out my template that way. Alright, so I have a stubby little router bit with a collar in here to ride my pattern and cut the shape into the copper. Alright, I'm going to sand both sides of this with some 1200 grit to abrade the surface. One surface will be abraded so the patina has something to bite into, and the other side will be sanded out so the adhesive has something to bite into. Alright, so sorry this next few sections are going to be blurry. I am using some pretty strong chemicals here that has some pretty strong fumes, so I'm wearing some chemical resistant goggles to keep the fumes out of my eyes, and a full-on respirator, so the goggles fogged up a little bit, so I couldn't really tell if I was in focus one way or another. Alright, so even though I sanded it to clean off any kind of oxides and things, I want my patina to bite deeper into the metal. So I'm wiping it down with some muriatic acid, and that'll really help the patina etch into the metal. Alright, and then I'm going to start using some other types of chemicals to add a little bit of a modeling effect into the copper, and this is just going to give me some underlining color to bring out some of those blacks and browns and things before I get to the blue. Alright, so now I'm going to let that solution sit on there for a little while and etch into the copper. Some places where it's heavily puddled up is going to etch deeper than others, and then that is what's going to create kind of that modeling look in the different colors of the browns and the blacks. So for safety reasons, I'm not going to say exactly what this solution is. This mixture creates a little bit of a noxious gas, so I don't want to get anybody in trouble from a safety standpoint. However, I will put a link to a book that I use to learn all this stuff, so if you want to go down that rabbit hole, you can research for yourself. Alright, so now to create the blue color, that is all over the internet and fairly straightforward to do. Basically, you wet the copper down with vinegar and then sprinkle salt on it where you want the blue colors to develop, and then pour ammonia into cups so the fumes of the ammonia fill your fume chamber, and let it sit for however long you want. An hour will get you a light blue color, and then the longer you let it sit, the more intense that color gets, or the more it etches into the copper, the deeper that color gets. And then once you're done, you rinse off the excess. Alright, now most of this blue is going to wash off because it's just in the salt. But the pattern that it leaves behind hopefully is going to be very, very pretty. And right now it's very, very fragile, so if I touch it, it'll just rub right off. So I'm going to let it dry. Here, I'm going to take out this ammonia and just let it dry a couple hours, and then we'll rinse it off. Alright, that's today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll come back next when we start building the actual door for these beautiful pieces of copper to go into.